Hello, my name's Lucy. Welcome back to my channel. I share videos about using a mind-body approach for conditions like chronic fatigue syndrome, long COVID, chronic pain, and other mind-body conditions. I also offer coaching for people who are interested in applying a mind-body approach to their recovery. So today's video, I wanted to talk about a mindset of wanting to get rid of symptoms. And I think this is helpful to reflect on because it's a very natural thought process to have, but can become an unhelpful one. I'm not a medical professional. This isn't medical or mental health advice. I'm just sharing things based on my own experience using a mind-body approach and what I've read based on mind-body approaches. Naturally, when people are unwell and they want to get better, they're looking for something that will help them reduce symptoms. And I've made reference to this in my videos, talking about having perspective on what is helping reduce symptoms and what is not helping reduce symptoms. But I think we can also sometimes get quite fixated on getting rid of symptoms. And this way of thinking can be quite unhelpful, even though maybe that is what we want, and that's the reason that we're doing this work. So it's one of those annoying situations where actually, even though maybe that's what we want, the more we focus on it and the more that alone becomes our goal, the harder it is to obtain, because a level of pressure comes with trying to get rid of symptoms. And also our focus might shift away from using a mind-body approach in a more constructive and helpful manner. So what I mean by this is that using a mind-body approach involves reflecting on emotions, whether those are emotions we are aware of or unaware of. It involves thinking about our predictive nature in terms of how we predict symptoms or how we link symptoms to different triggers, and how we can unlearn that thinking process and that predictive coding that we've established in our brain. And also how other parts of our psychology might impact our progress. So that might be reflecting on parts of us. So the perfectionist part, the achiever part, the part of us that doesn't trust other parts not to do too much or to set boundaries. All of these aspects are important for using a mind-body approach. And another key aspect is thinking in line with the idea that a symptom is not dangerous, is not harmful, and might be giving us a message. So if we are wanting to get rid of symptoms, we can inadvertently be telling ourselves that symptoms are not good. It means there's something wrong with us. It means there's a problem that we need to fix or get rid of. Whereas if we are seeing symptoms as a message that maybe we need to listen to or pay attention to, then this can help with not seeing symptoms as such a bad thing and help with acceptance that a symptom is there and that it's okay for that symptom to be there. So one analogy that I quite like is this idea that if you imagine a symptom is a friend knocking on the front door of your house, one way to deal with that is to ignore your friend and not answer the door. So just go about your day-to-day life, doing whatever you've planned to do, and try and completely ignore the knocking. Of course, you can't completely ignore it because you will hear it. It will be there in the background. So the knocking in this situation is your attention going to the symptom. Another thing that you could do is open the door and greet your friend as though you're happy to see them, you're happy that they've come, and you might be curious. You weren't expecting this visit. So is there something they need to tell you? Is there something that they're experiencing or feeling that is important for them to share? So in terms of our symptoms, this would be where we notice the symptom and we decide to turn towards it in welcoming it, being accepting and okay that the symptom has come, questioning with a level of curiosity and kindness whether there's an emotion there, a feeling there, or a need of some kind, and giving yourself the time and the space to see if anything comes up. And in some cases, we just need to acknowledge that I'm feeling a bit frustrated that this symptom is here, or I'm feeling a bit sad today. I don't know why, but I'm feeling that way. Or it might be that I'm feeling a bit frustrated because I've been experiencing symptoms for 5 years and they're consistently there. But those are still feelings that we can tap into. It might also be relevant to recent stressor of some kind. Like, I'm still thinking about that awkward conversation I had with a family member and how they interpreted this in a certain way, or how I said something that maybe I shouldn't have said, or did I respond well? So sometimes we can still be thinking about various things that have happened or ways that we've dealt with situations. So if we imagine, then we say to our friend, you're welcome to go home, but you're also welcome to stay here if you want and keep me company for the day. It's okay if you want to stay here, even though maybe you're experiencing these emotions. So in this analogy, the friend is a symptom, so you are essentially inviting the symptom to be there, even though that can be uncomfortable for you. It might normally be associated with feelings of fear, feelings of frustration or tension, discomfort. It's unpleasant to have symptoms. But building that association where that way of viewing things can help, in the sense that we are not trying to get rid of the symptom, and we're not giving ourselves any messages that it's unsafe for this symptom to be here. We're becoming curious to see if there's anything behind the symptom, and as well as that, we are accepting that this symptom can be there and it's okay, that I'm safe and I'm okay despite this feeling. And this isn't easy to do, especially if you have a very challenging symptom that causes a huge amount of discomfort. And there might be different ways of managing those situations. If you find that this particular exercise or this way of looking at it doesn't help, by saying that it's okay for your friend to stay all day in your house, you're not saying, I'm going to focus on you the whole time and obsessively think about this symptom, why it's here. You may have already done that check-in and you may have got answers, or you may not have got answers, and that's okay in either case. But you are getting on with your day, you're doing other things, but you're acknowledging that it's okay for the symptom to be there. Sometimes with doing this work, because at the end of the day, we do really want the symptoms to go with time, we can get into this mindset of not wanting a symptom to be there, or having a problem-solving approach to it. You try one thing and the symptom still hasn't gone. You try another thing and the symptom still hasn't gone. You try something else and the symptom still hasn't gone. And then you can feel powerless because you're thinking, oh, well, the symptom still hasn't gone. So sometimes you might try to do a check-in of whether there's an emotion behind the symptom and you don't get an answer and the symptom doesn't go. That sometimes is part of the process of doing this work. And in those moments, feeling like, oh, what I did didn't work, or I'm not able to do this properly, or like having thoughts like this is going to last forever, will put you in a disempowered position. If instead you welcome the symptom, you establish a feeling of safety despite the symptom being there, and do whatever exploration that you can to see if there's something, a message or an emotion behind the symptom. But then you also carry on with your day, and that's not distracting yourself or ignoring the symptom, in the sense that you've already checked in and you've already tried to engage with it. You're bringing an acceptance towards the symptom being there. Trying to get rid of symptoms can become, it can kind of creep up on us sometimes, even if we're used to being very accepting. So being aware of how this might show up can be helpful. Even for me, sometimes I might get a symptom and my initial feeling is, like right now, I have tension in my shoulders and a slightly sore neck, and it's mild in comparison to what I've experienced before with long COVID. But I could very easily get a thought, oh, how will I get rid of this? It's unpleasant. Naturally, we want to get rid of things that are unpleasant. We want to move away from discomfort. It takes a little bit more energy and effort to notice that that's what we're doing, and also to do the opposite, which is turning towards the symptom, asking if there is a message or an emotion behind it, and welcoming it to be there for the day in an accepting way. It's not easy. And the reason I say that this could be more challenging, or that something else might be a better approach for someone with very intense symptoms, is just acknowledging that depending on your threshold in terms of how much you can turn towards or pay attention to a symptom, it might be different, and there might be different challenges for different people. In general, I think for a lot of people, this approach can help. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram or join my Facebook group, there's a link in the description below. If you are struggling with symptoms and are interested in using a mind-body approach and feel like you would benefit from some help in applying it to yourself and problem solving some of your unique challenges that you experience with using the approach, I offer coaching, and there's a link to my website and a link to booking a call with me in the description below. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you in the next video.